Minecraft. A peaceful game devoid of secrets. Or is it? So we all know what mushrooms are in Minecraft, yes. And we all know what the Mushroom Island is, correct. It's a rare, purple island covered in a thick layer of mycelium. But why is the island so rare? And why are these unique species specific to just the island? Today, I'll be covering some theories related to mycelium, mushrooms, or anything else in between. First off, one thing I've noticed while playing Minecraft is that mushrooms like damp, dark spaces. Swamp and dark oak biomes are a great example of this, as the swamps contain large amounts of decaying plant material for the mushrooms to eat, and dark oaks provide shade in the undergrowth. This rule applies for most of the overworld, except for one area, Mushroom Islands. Fungi rely on eating other organisms to survive, but here, there's only fungi. No plants in sight, and even here, the mycelium allows mushrooms to grow in high light levels. Why is this? Well, in the real world, you may have heard of something called a lichen, or a lichen if that's what you call it. Lichens are made up of algae and fungi, both living in a symbiosis. Part of this symbiosis is the algae's photosynthesis, which requires sunlight. Mycelium in Minecraft is like a large sheet that covers the ground. Now look at this image of a lichen. Seem familiar? I think the reason mycelium and other fungi of the Mushroom Island can grow in direct sunlight is because they're actually species of lichen, unlike those found elsewhere in the overworld. Now, there's also an animal that lives in these fields. One that lives in a symbiotic or even a parasitic relationship with the mushrooms. This mob is, you guessed it, the mushroom. Mushrooms have tons of different theories about them, and that's because of just how mysterious they really are. We know they aren't a species themselves, as if you shear them, the mushrooms come off. So what are they? Well, I think it's possible that the mushrooms use the cows as a reproductive method. By clinging on to a host that moves around all over the place, the mushrooms are able to easily spread their spores around in different locations. There's a popular theory about the mushroom fields that they're some sort of radiated wasteland. The mushrooms are the mutated remains of trees, mycelium of grass, and mushrooms of cows, and the whole mushroom idea itself is just a metaphor for mushroom clouds. But I really don't think this is the case. Despite what pop culture may lead you to believe, radiation doesn't contain mutants, and we can see this in examples here on Earth. The final thing I'll talk about is the possibility that the entire Mushroom Island is one big organism, and you know what? I really wouldn't doubt it. Mycelium can grow to tremendous sizes in real life, and so the idea that it took over an entire island, especially since this is a fantasy game after all, really isn't that far-fetched. A bit more dark, mind you, but the mushrooms could just be a part of this hive mind. Maybe that's the reason the organism is cast away to an island. Maybe this is why hostile mobs stay clear of it. Who knows what will happen if this eventually reaches the shores of the overworld. But, despite all these theories, there is one thing that we know is true. The real reason that Mojang added in the mushroom biome. The secret behind it all is that Notch and his team wanted a cool biome to explore. Pretty anticlimactic, isn't it? Or perhaps, just maybe, something more sinister is at play.